So Survivor Series is nearly upon us this weekend, so it's time to obviously get together, put on our little nerdy hats and kind of theorise about what possible results, surprises, swerves, etc. that we could potentially get at this show. So yeah, I'm going to basically form this predictions video in the form of how I think the match card is going to play out. So I think we're going to basically start off with the women's war games match. I think that's going to be basically the opener, with the men's war games being the closer. It tends to be kind of like how we kind of like form these. So yeah, I can't see WWE kind of changing the format here. I think we're gonna have women's war games opening the show here. We've basically got just in case you are out of the loop, the women's war games, we've got Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and AJ Lee against Nia Jax, Lash Legend, the Kabuki Warriors, and Becky Lynch. All sorts of stuff could go on here. So let's go back a couple of weeks, and we go into this promo that Alexa Bliss cut in light of Charlotte Flair initially saying that she wasn't going to be part of this War Games due to her feud with Rhea Ripley. And when she was cutting this promo, it sort of seemed to scream like red flags everywhere. I was like, hang on a minute, this is kind of like gaslighting on an epic kind of proportion. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, these are red flags all over the place. And then we follow her the next week where she kind of like hoodwinks Charlotte Flair into kind of like having this reunion meeting with Rhea Ripley and all of this. So it all just kind of like, these sort of things just kind of like happen in wrestling, I know. So it might not be anything, but there is a potential that it has made me kind of start to see that if we saw an Alexa Bliss heel turn, it wouldn't be completely out of left field. I feel like you could see these little kind of these trailers being dropped. And also I do kind of think that Alexa Bliss just works better as a heel than as a babyface as well. I mean, I always enjoy Alexa Bliss regardless of what character she playing, but yeah, there has been something about all this that hasn't kind of sat right with me, and I do think that she just works better as a heel. So yeah, I think that's very much on the cards here. I think that coming out of this match, we're gonna have a good influx of like tag team competitors within that women's division, which I think is much needed at them. Obviously, we've got the Kabuki Warriors who are getting this push. We've got Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. We've got Lash Legend and Nia Jax. So I do kind of feel like but I do think the main thing that's going to really come out of this is going to be that this is essentially going to be a jumping off platform for the AJ Lee and Becky Lynch feud. So I do kind of, it's difficult to judge. I think they could absolutely go either way on this, just like with the men's, they could go either way on this. But just on gut instinct, I am going to basically say, just because this does seem to be like one of the main feuds that's going to come out of this War Games, then it's basically because it's a feud that AJ Lee is kind of currently on top a little bit with her win with a mixed out at WrestlePalooza. I just kind of like, I'm going for Becky Lynch pinning AJ Lee here and basically picking up a win. Like I said, I think that if the baby faces lose here, I think you could absolutely work a heel turn with Alexa Bliss into it. I think that kind of fits as well. Do I think it's going to happen? I'm not really confident we are going to see it, or at least if we are going to see a heel turn by Alexa Bliss, it's probably not going to be at this point. But I wouldn't hate it if I saw it, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's my prediction for that one. So yeah, we are going to basically go now into what I think is the easiest one to say, and I say this with some hesitancy, because this was a one that I was so confident that this was a guarantee, but this was one that I was totally 100% confident on that Stephanie Valkyrie was retaining here. And then I saw the predictions video laid out by Simon Miller, who I'm a big fan of, who does these wrestling stuff as well. So yeah, if you're a wrestling fan, go check him out. But yeah, I was watching his prediction video on this, and damn it, he kind of got me doubting myself but with this, because yeah, he basically made forward the argument that if you essentially turn somebody heel and then they don't capitalize on it, they end up looking like an idiot, which I think is a kind of like a fair point. But I think I would say that I do think you can make these arguments all over the shop. I think you could make the arguments in the same sort of arguments at people cashing in Money in the Bank, for example, and then not actually coming away with a belt. They kind of come away looking like an idiot. Does that mean that it's never happened? Of course, we've had failed cash-in, so you could play this. But yeah, it has got me doubting it. It has introduced a little bit of doubt in my mind now. I am going to still stick, though. I am still going to stick with Stephanie Valkyrie retaining here, just because I do kind of feel like looking beyond this with all the potential feuds that could come out of this, with obviously we've already teased Rhea Ripley going after the belt after War Games. You could absolutely insert Oscar into that as well. Maybe even Io Sky and Kairi Sane into that, maybe. And I do just feel them chasing that belt is more of an intriguing feud with Stephanie Valkyrie holding the belt than Nikki Bella. So yeah, especially like Rhea Ripley or Stephanie Valkyrie, I think that's definitely a match I kind of want to see. And it's obviously we've got some big pay-per-views just around the corner with like Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber and even WrestleMania. So something like Stephanie Valkyrie against Rhea Ripley would basically be a matchup worthy of those kind of PLEs. So I am going to say that Stephanie Valkyrie is retaining here. So yeah, we basically move on to John Cena and Dominic Mysterio here, and again, So I had basically said in one of my previous videos that it's interesting because the main argument you could make for John Cena winning the Intercontinental title off Dominic Mysterio was to make him a Grand Slam champion, and now that's done. That's in the bag, and that's kind of it. So now because of how over Dominic Mysterio is with the fans, especially as a heel, then I think that you could. So there were some who really were happy about him losing the Intercontinental title to John Cena. So I think you can make it switch, and I think it would work. I think normally in these sort of situations, I'll be basically saying, well, obviously the title holder is retaining, because why would you put it on him just to take it straight back off him kind of a couple of weeks down the line? So, but I do think the circumstances are different here. I don't think it hurts John Cena, because I think John Cena's stature, he is already kind of hailed as the GOAT. So I don't think it hurts him to kind of take a loss here. And, you know, I do think that obviously going into John Cena's final match, I think just a fact of that being John Cena's final match, I think that's enough in itself to kind of, the build almost creates itself. So I don't think it necessarily does any harm for that build as well. I mean, my prediction for John Cena's final opponent is going to be Gunther. So I think that if that was the case, then I think you can have John Cena picking up the win here. You know, I would say, personally, I would say the strongest argument I could make for John Cena losing his final match would be if it was against a more of an up and coming guy like Dominic Mysterio, perhaps. But obviously Gunther isn't on that level, do you know what I mean? So I think you can absolutely have John Cena beat Gunther in the final match if that's what it's going to be. So I am going to say that we are going to see Dominic Mysterio retaining. What am I talking about? He's already lost the title. We're winning the title back, should I say, from John Cena. So yeah, that's basically my prediction. There has been some talk here about Liv Morgan maybe returning. Again, it's one of those that I'm not confident we're going to necessarily see here, but if it did happen, I wouldn't hate it. I would welcome it. I think it's more likely that we are going to see Rey Mysterio getting involved in this match somehow. So that could maybe set up another feud. Some have even talked about maybe Rey Mysterio coming out and turning heel against John Cena, which would be absolutely wild. I mean, there's a universe I could see it, but it's Rey Mysterio, you know, he's kind of like the ultimate babyface, you know what I mean? So I can't really see it. Like, it would be shocking if it did happen. So yeah, but that's my prediction here, that we are going to maybe see Rey Mysterio come out in some capacity here, and I think that we are going to ultimately see Dominic Mysterio lie, cheat, and steal his way to winning the title back. So yeah, so that basically will bring us to our main event of the men's war games. And yeah, so basically, just in case you don't know, this is basically amongst our baby faces, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Jimmy and Jey Uso. They will basically be going up against Brock Lesnar, Bronson Reed, Bron Breakker, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul. And again, I think that this is going to be a banger of a match, just like I think the women's one is. Again, all sorts of stuff could happen. One of the main popular theories that people have been pulling out here is that we're going to see a Jey Uso heel turn. Again, I think it's one of those if it did happen, you could go back and find the nuggets of there. You know, they have been changing Jey Uso's character a bit. They have been giving him a bit more of an edge. So I could see him. But I also know that leaving the internet behind and just looking at the reactions of the crowds of these live shows, and how kind of over Jey Uso is with them, and the fact that we've got he's probably this big merchandise selling guy for it does make me skeptical on where we're going to see at least a full-blown heel turn. I think I can maybe see him obviously doing a bit more similar to him when he dumped Jimmy Uso out of a Royal Rumble. I think we can see maybe him do a little bit heelish stuff that maybe could cause a bit of a kind of spice between the Usos, and Jimmy going kind of like, what the hell are you doing stuff. I think we could see on that level, but a full-blown heel turn from Jey Uso, no, I can't see it. So I had basically gone for obviously the heels winning the women's war games. So I'm going to say that the baby faces pick up a win here. We basically saw on Monday Night Raw that the heels have picked up Team Vision, rather have picked up the advantage in this. I think that they were kind of teasing that maybe both teams weren't entirely on the same page in that episode, but I do think that they were laying it more to a point of Team CM Punk in this case, with the whole kind of like fallout between Roman and Cody and CM Punk and Noah. I think they put a bit more emphasis on that in that episode. So I think all of those are mounting to red herrings, essentially. And I do so yeah, I'm going for that Team CM Punk picks up a win here with the men's war games. So yeah, that's basically my predictions, guys, for this. Yeah, so basically to recap, I think we're going to basically have the Team Kabuki Warriors, the heels winning the women's war games. I think that Dominic Mysterio is winning the Intercontinental title back. I think Stephanie Valkyrie is retaining hers, and I think that we're going to see the baby faces or Team CM Punk winning the men's war games here. So yeah, those are my predictions for this year's Survivor Series. So yeah, please let me know down in the comment section about what your thoughts are about what we're going to potentially get here. I always am interested to hear people's fan theories and people's fantasy bookings and stuff like that. You know, all that stuff, fun stuff. Let me know down in the comment section. And yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, don't forget to ring a bell for notifications. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I always uploading regular wrestling content up onto this channel. So yeah, thank you again, guys, for taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, I will see you guys on the next video. You guys take care.